Hello out there. My name is Koya Bello and I want to teach you some stuff about Laravel. Laravel is a really new framework, PHP web framework that is really, yes, it has a really big market share, to be honest, and it's one of the hottest things right now. And it's out right now on version 5. Here you can see the homepage. And yes, what I want to teach you are some concepts. You have seen it right here. Laravel is a model view controller pattern like framework. It uses a model view controller pattern. Um, and yeah, I want to show you how to build an application using this pattern. It's especially designed for Laravel, so all Laravel stuff going on right here. And as you can see, I have make a little architecture diagram to show how this all fits together. So first, as the request hits your application, you are going to use the routes.php file, and the first video where I'm actually coding, I will show you this. Before that video, I will make a short video how to set up a coding environment so that you are ready to code actually. And this will be the third video of this series. We are really going in deep into this routes stuff right here. And yeah, the model view controller pattern, for you who don't know it, is that you have the model. The model is connected to the database. Especially in Laravel, it's each model that you have is one table at the database, and you can make different operations on it. As I can show you, you have in the documentation right here. You have the eloquent object relational mapping, and it's really easy to get stuff out of the database. If you are defining a model right here, here you have a model class, especially here it's for flight. And if you go really downstairs, I will show you all this, but here you have conditional statements, for example. Let me search for a better thing right now. Yeah, for example, if you want to find an entity, you just use the model right here and use the find method on it, and use the primary key, for example. You have other things like relations and so on, but I will cover this in the next series. Here you can see a little bit complicated statement you would normally have written in SQL. This is one of the biggest good things about the OLAP objection relational mapper, that it provides different functions for you like this ones here. So, but I will go on that deeper in the next series, in the next videos. So what is this model view controller pattern about? The model, to start again, each model is one database table, and the view is like HTML chunks of HTML that build the front end of your application. So it generates, puts the data you got from the model into HTML. And the controller is a bit like the connection between them. So the controller gets a request from the routes, gets all the data that is in the request, like user IDs. It can check whether the request data is valid. It can check that user is logged in and all that stuff, and gets the data from the model. Like if you have a blog post, he first checks if the user is logged in, and then it loads our blog post that is related for the user, for example, if he's the admin and want to delete something. And then the controller pushes all the data to the view, and the view is just generating the HTML. So in Laravel, this is a pretty cool tool. If you are looking here, the documentation by side is really good. So you can always have a look at that. And for example, let me show you something that is quite useful. I have to search a moment. Views. I have views. So what's going on right here? Well, I think it's so easy that you just have this page. Yeah, it is. So you can a simple view look like this. That's right. You have just the HTML code right here, and just putting on all the variables. You know it maybe from other frameworks, but if you're working with Laravel, you have this blade templating system, which is pretty cool that you can use in the views. This is what I wanted to show you. And you have the possibility to build sections, reference a parent, and do really cool stuff like this one here. This is a variable that you push to the view, and you can echo it out like you normally would do like this, but Laravel has this synthetic sugar if you want so, and gives you the possibility to just echo it like that. But I will go on this too in the next videos. So this is the model view controller pattern. It's a pretty easy view, and it leads to a really big controller, because the controller has to do everything like getting all the data, mashing it up. So you have mash up like, well, user, maybe the blog post that's renounced to him, and the comments, for example. And maybe you want to display all this on one page. So the controller has to mash up everything and push it to the view. And if you are going to build really big applications, that could be not enough, because you are really bloating the controller, and you can't share the code that is put into the controller. So there's another architecture that I've got from a little book called Implementing Laravel. Yeah, I spelled a little bit wrong, but I think I will do it. Yeah, here it is. And I really, yeah, you could really look into that. A lot of the patterns I will teach you in this series is taken out of this book. And yeah, it's really updated for Laravel 5, because this I think is on Laravel 4. And yeah, so what I wanted to tell you, the architecture, right? So you have this model view controller pattern already. You have the controller right here, the model is right here, and the view is right here. And you have these two entities added to that. So you have the repository pattern and the form service. So if a request hits the application for updating maybe a blog post, for example, the controller is really thin, puts all the input data to the form service. The form service validates all the input data, and if it's successful, it pushes to the repo, and the repo begins to update the blog post. So the blog post is one entity in the table. But what is so cool about the repo is that it can do other things in one step too, like updating the relation for which user writes the blog post, editing the comments for it. So it's like really like you can mash up all the tables you need in one business entity. That's the point. So you're here working with business entities that are mashed up of multiple database models. Or better database tables. So each model is a table, but if you need much tables together, the repository is generating you this mashup. So that's pretty it for the architecture. I'm really fine with that one. So I want to show you which application we want to implement. And yeah, I have to really get stuff here together right now. I'm sorry, where it is. Got it. So I'm using Deer. It's a really cool program. And here you have an entity relationship model. It's pretty easy. We want to implement a soccer game. And the soccer game has multiple teams with ID, name, and Mario. And each team has multiple players, which is this annotation. So team has n players, but player has one team. That's the annotation of the entity relationship model. And yes. And each player has a first name, a last name, a number, a picture, and the ID, of course. So this is the application we want to build. I want to build a web service to get this data. And I want to program you an admin interface that is depending on Bootstrap for managing the teams and the players. So that's it for the sample application architecture. And we will start like this here. To be honest, we will start with the routes.php and the model.php. And the third video of the series. Before that, I want to show you some stuff you need to set up to get Laravel up and running. And yeah, we will build this small application, and then we want to add each layer like the repository and then the form service, and maybe I will discuss you the decorator pattern and add a logging facility and all that stuff, but I will take a look how much resonance I got on this video and if it's really needed. And yeah, so see you at the next video.